Yo, what's up guys? So we're here to talk about BattleWasp and really talk about, are they good? Because if you look at the prices on any of the BattleWasp cards, they are very, very cheap. I mean, we're talking about building an entire deck for only a few dollars. In fact, if any of you guys picked up any Battle of Legends, you probably have a bunch of these lying around and you're probably not even playing them. We're here to showcase them off in some gameplay here up against Marincess first off. And then we'll go ahead and go through a few different gameplays here, and I'll give you guys a deck profile in case any of you guys do want to go ahead and play it. In fact, all the Wind Witches actually went down in price too, and on top of that, you also have Tempests that can potentially be utilized in this deck as well. Although the deck primarily consists of insects, but being able to go straight and get a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon and then follow up with some Battlewasps is not a bad play. It's basically not only an extender for the deck, but it can open up the doors for a lot of other cards. Obviously, when you go for the Wind Witch effects, you're kind of locked into winds anyways, but it doesn't really matter if you're playing Battlewasp in the first place. Now, this Marincess player over here, he's basically got his full setup. He's got the Battle Ocean here, so they're unaffected by your opponent's card effects, as long as you use Crystal Heart, which of course everyone's going to use Crystal Heart to go ahead and basically make this a boss monster deck. And you might be thinking, yo, there's no way Battlewasps are coming back from that board. And I thought the exact same thing. I was like, dude, Battlewasps, like, I know that they have the Rapid Fire, which can bring you back a monster, and on top of that, if it's destroyed, you get to summon a BattleWasp monster from your hand or deck. So it lets you basically just go into some stall plays if you need to, and just bring out other plays if you want to play a little bit more aggressive. But you also have Great Fly in the deck, which basically just lets you search out any wind monster in your graveyard. So it lets you recycle some of the cards. So he's going to go ahead and bring back the Pin the Bullseye. And control insect monster, you just special summon it. The small amount of burn damage that the deck does do, because in fact, the Wind Witches also do some small amount of burn damage, and we'll get into some gameplay that showcase off the burn damage a little bit more and its viability, because I'm not saying to play just the Battlewasp in combination with the burn deck, but I'm just saying the deck does do some small amount of burn damage, and if you can play it really aggressively with, of course, one other spell cards that lets you just swarm the board, you can do a decent amount of damage. In this instance, he's not going to be taking any damage here because we have this Marbled Rock over here. When opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send a Marincess, and then monsters can't be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage. And then on top of that, the guy has Aquarium Stage setup, which makes it so water monsters cannot be destroyed with a non-water monster, which can get quite annoying. I think this is almost a win harder card, because if you have the full setup, which is of course the Ocean and Wonder Heart, where it's used Crystal Heart as summoned material, basically you're going to be set up for, again, a towers oriented deck. But keep in mind, if there's any other monsters, you're going to be able to just attack them. And that zero attack that you guys saw, of course, with the, like, I kind of want to call it like the big boy of the Battlewasps, the Ballista, you're going to make it so your opponent permanently loses all of those stats. And if there's any link monsters, I mean, you're just going to open up the doors to a bunch of damage, potentially. But again, remember, Marbled Rock has that effect, so it's kind of like an unlucky matchup for BattleWasp. But the BattleWasp player is very resilient here. He's going to be able to defense up, and again, stall. I mean, a lot of the cards are able just to come back. You have Azusa, the Ghost Bow, and then when a monster is destroyed by battle with your BattleWasp monster while its card is in graveyard, you can special summon defense position. It does get banished when it leaves the field. But then, it does have a really good effect where whenever your opponent takes effect damage from another Battlewasp, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of that monster. So, it starts adding up. And on top of that, the Marincess archetype, Marincess Wave is just an insane card. Just activate this card from your hand, turn a face-up monster, and negate that monster's effect until the end of the turn. And then once you have it, a Link 3, it's activating from the hand, but unfortunately, like, he just had too many Link monsters, because pretty much the monsters archetype will have a bunch of monsters basically, not necessarily equipped to it, but like it just like linked to it in the zones. And look at this, it's just hilarious. And then we're also playing in vanilla here. I'll get you guys to that profile in a second, but I just kind of want to showcase off some gameplay so you guys can get an idea of like how the BattleWasp plays. Now this is going to be up against an Invoked player who's also running the Secret Village. Dirty plays, man, and he's also trying to throw in that row of the crease, so no spells, no traps, I guess is his goal. But the BattleWasps, again, they're very resilient. They're not going to go down too easy. We're going to see Ghost Bow, somebody's going to go ahead and attack. Now, this is an interesting tech. I've never seen anyone play this card in a BattleWasp deck, but this is Parasite Paranoid, which lets you, as a quick effect, target a face-up monster in the field, and you get to equip this card from your hand to that target. The equipped monster becomes an insect monster and cannot attack insect monsters. Also, its effects that activate by targeting an insect monster are negated. So that's pretty cool. You have kind of a hand trap for just the, well, it's for insects, but it's technically great in BattleWasp. And then if this equipped card is sent to the graveyard, you can special one level 7 or higher insect monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning condition. So most of the BattleWasps are pretty small, though. There's not like most of the bigger boys are going to be in the extra deck anyways. But I just thought it was kind of cool just to see some BattleWasp because no one's talking about it, no one's playing it for the most part, and it's a really cheap deck. For anyone playing it, now to really answer the question, is it good? Because when I first saw this archetype, it barely had any cards. We tried to get some gameplay of it. We made the synchro a few times, but overall, the deck wasn't really too strong at throwing out like a turn 1 board, like break my board. So it doesn't necessarily do that. It technically can OTK, but you have to have a really good hand, and then you have to have like Summoning Swarm, and basically your opponent needs to have like a monster where you can just run over and get some extra free bonus like burn damage in, courtesy of some of their effects, which you'll see very soon over here. But I don't think the deck has potential to be like a tier 1 deck, at least not as of right now. But maybe with some more support, they can be a little bit better. I don't think it's like ice barrier levels of bad because, like I said before, a lot of people have this. They're probably overlooking the deck thinking it's some trash deck. And it's not, again, nowhere near competitiveness of like anything. But when you can make everything have 0, and then on top of that, you happen to have access to Dart the Hunter. And when your BattleWasp monster destroys a monster by battle, you could discard this card and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. So you make it have 0, you're going to smack him for 3k, and then maybe, like in this instance, you just hit him for 6k. And you know, I also thought was pretty interesting, if you wanted to do this. Now, this is some crazy tech choice here, but you can banish all the insect monsters. I mean, you can see right now there's 11. You throw the Desires, you throw Grand Maju.ease, you throw the BattleWasp Grand Maju, and if a monster has 0 attack, Grand Maju is real easy to get up to like 8,000 attack. It could be just something to mess around with and have some fun. Now, this next one up over here is up against a deck out variant, and this is pretty cheeky. So the guy, you can see he's got Magical Mallet, Fate Plan. Already looking pretty fishy. Throws up Soul Levy, but Book of Taiyu is indeed out. And he's also got Book of Eclipse, and he's going to go ahead and activate that Summoning Swarm. And remember, every time your opponent special summons a monster, they have to send the top 3 cards of their deck to the graveyard. But Morphing Jar is here, and he's going to go ahead and fill up his graveyard, which might not be the smartest of things when the big boy Synchro can come out. Now, I wanted to mention this card. This card is actually really great. You can utilize it in BattleWasp. But it requires a machine tuner and 1+ non-tuner monsters. And if this card is synchro summoned, you can activate one of the effects. One of the effects is to destroy all other cards on the field. And, well, that's a pretty good effect, right? He's going to go ahead and Book of Moon this card, so he's not going to get any damage in this turn. But he loses his board entirely. But it's not over yet. He's still got Extravagance here. And so he's going to go ahead and take some damage. There also is some plays with the Gokis. And having just basically vanilla, this card actually has, I believe, one of like the strongest attacks. He's going to go ahead and activate Duality. I'm curious to why he didn't just use card destruction at this point. Maybe he's like, I want to use my Extravagance, just, I guess you could set it. I don't know. I think he was just banking on that, because he could have just went for this, and then obviously Night of Slant has that effect when it's sent from the hand to the graveyard, card flip effect, and then return to the hand. But he's also utilizing the high speed engine here. But once again, like I mentioned before, the Wind Witch engine is quite nice to be able to, again, get some extra burn damage. He's only got 800 HP left, so those burst rebirths are not going to be doing him any good. He's going to go ahead and set double cards. We got Coin Norma down, and that's not going to do him any good. He's just like, okay, well, you got me, man. He just leaves the game. But anyways, now that you guys have seen some BattleWasp in action, I want to give you guys a brief little deck profile. And shout out to my homie Chad for sending this in. But yeah, like I said, BattleWasp, to really answer the question, are they good? I think that, again, they don't have potential to be tier 1 right now, but for like a few dollars, if you want something just new to play with, and like I said, you could, if you want to, throw in a Tempest. It's just another free card that you can summon that happens to be a win, and it just allows you easy access to it. Great fly, fantastic card. I would say put this in here. Sometimes you are well, going into the insect. Some support cards. Summoning Swarm does lock you into insect monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, but other than that, you're basically just locked to wins with, of course, the Wind Witch engine over here. Is it one of these? Okay, yeah, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except for level 5 or higher wind monsters anyways, which doesn't really hurt your deck too much at all. But anyways, onwards with the deck profile, but I really recommend playing Tempest. Anyway, so 3 copies of Arbalest, the Rapid Fire, and the 3 copy of Twin Bow. This one can attack twice with 1,000 attack. I know it seems small, but sometimes it can make a huge difference. Again, remember, you're going to be making everything have 0 attack, courtesy of our big boy, the Ballista Armageddon. And then 3 copies of Sin the Poison, 1 copy of Dart the Hunter, and then Pin the Bullseye, 2 copies of that, and then 2 copies of Goki-Pull, and then of course your vanilla for that. Then we have the Speedroid engine here, and then we have the Gum Prize, just kind of like tuner here. Just have another effect. But then we got the Wind Witch engine, and 1 for 1, of course, for this little boy over here. And of course, you could go for Dart Hunter. Again, sometimes just throwing them in the graveyard, later adding them back could be also useful. And Summoning Swarm, obviously, you got to max out on this. The card is insane, though. It's target level 4 or lower BattleWasp monsters, which is literally every one of them except for the Synchro monsters. And then you just special summon them. Then we have Foolish Reborn, 3 copies of Revival Swarm, so it's just like Monster Reborn for the archetype. But it has a bonus. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects until the end of the next turn. So again, this helps you stall it. And then we have Insect Imitation that lets you go into other things. And then 2 Ash, and then he didn't have it, but I really suggest Tempest because again, it doesn't really hurt the deck. It can actually help extend some of your plays to actually go for OTK. Like you could hit for 6k as you guys saw quite easy. The play would be just go for the big boy and then go ahead and follow up with Dart. And then all you gotta do is, this is another 2k, so that's easy 6k, that's another 2.4. Easy 8.4k. For the extra deck, we got 1 big boy, and then we got the Kited Rake, and then Crystal Wing, 2 copies of Hama the Conquering Bow, Halberd of the Charge, 2 copies of that, Azusa the Ghost Bow, then of course Wind Witch. Actually, this one, sorry, there we go. So it's one of each one of the bigger ones, and then Hama, Winter Bell, 2, and then Great Fly, then High Speed Gum, or it's actually called Rubber Band Shooter, and then the Picoforania. And then these are cards I think he was testing out and probably just opted to not play them. But this card was very interesting. I think this card might be an interesting little tech if you guys want to mess around with it. But anyways, there's some BattleWasp. Now that you guys have seen some gameplay, let me know if your opinion has changed about it. Because after I saw this, I definitely think the deck is a lot better than I originally thought. But again, it's not on the same level. It doesn't have a turn 1 insane play. I mean, the best thing you could do is maybe with Wind Witch, just throw a Crystal Wing, maybe throw like a Ghost Bar, just something to kind of set up later down the line for your bigger plays. Because Revival Form just gets back everything. Maybe you can OTK them. But I think it lacks some of the stun that most decks will need. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel here, hit the subscribe button and turn on that bell so you don't miss out on new Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos as soon as they come out. If you guys want to send me other builds of anything else that came out recently, feel free to send in a replay file and get a shout out just like my boy Chad did over here. But thanks again, man, for showcasing off some BattleWasps. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace.